on their own map pick. They really dialed it home, and I imagine that's got to shake the Young Sharks because they were in a position where they could have taken that map and potentially a 2-1 lead in the series.
Now starting off on the CT side, at least they've got that going for themselves. However much of a boon that may be in today's economy. 3-man stack over towards B, and Young Sharks might be looking to run into it, but not too quickly. Lukowski is going to go on a bit of a expedition to see what kind of information he can find in the meanwhile.
Yeah, only one smoke flash is basically always a B play. So
yeah. I mean, unless you want to maybe just wrap around for Moto with a quick short push, but even that's so risky without a few extra flashes. JNT on the P250 hasn't dropped that to a teammate, not going the raid boss setup. But this setup looks stronger and stronger for 9Z. Max is getting ready, but he's actually retreated. He doesn't want to commit. That would end up giving up the fact that it is a stack. And, well, Young Sharks might know regardless. JNT still has that smoke for Moto if you want to go over, but a lot of angles to clear without a flashbang if you're going to take the short route over. So they're opting for apartments. I love this, Michael.
Yeah, but they've created a divide between these sites because there's no fast rotates available. Look at Rox's position, though. They're moving in towards these apartments and trying to slow lurk into it. If Rox finds a good timing, could get that info.
Oh, he does get the information, and the rotates will be reasonably well timed, but at the same time needs to come out big with a quick multi, and he's not even able to get one. Tries whipping, but he makes up for it. He gets two in a situation where it looked like he was going to be giving up everything, and JNT is making up for the previous. Comes out big, guns blazing, 2 kills to start things off, and Digit left all alone.
There's a kit that can be recovered somewhere around the site. I think it's over towards Moto's. Actually, Zevi getting plucked out. It's close enough to the site where Digit can transition after these kills, but it's such a hard crossfire. The box could be enough coverage, but now he takes the high ground, trying to look for the pit player instead. They're not peeking.
And not giving him any information whatsoever. They know that it's all up to Digit to make the move. I really hope he doesn't save over here. There was a bit of a conversation going on that I tried to initiate in early 2020, but I just don't matter enough in the Counter-Strike space about how it's very important to go down with the bomb unless you want to give the T side an extra bit of utility everywhere. But rather going down before the bomb does. So he doesn't get to save the Kevlar or... You know,
yeah, so that's about the worst thing that could happen, in all fairness. Give them the extra money, and you don't even get to have any saving graces going into the follow-up round. So it's okay, guys. I still have armor.
Big double from JNT, though. Good to see him already starting things off nicely.
Yeah, a bit of a slow roller. Nuke was not kind to him. Had a few missed opportunities as well. We're hoping that things do right up. You know, the back straightens here for the Sharks. This has to be a rebound recovery. Unless 9Z qualify for that EPL conference. You know, take the prize at the end as well.
Yeah.
Line share of 30K.
Gotta be one of the last champions of a DreamHack Open as well.
Yeah.
Get your name down in history for that one. Meanwhile, flash over, Bit's going to be forced off. And I like this approach from Young Sharks initially, but we're going to have to see if they adjust it later on. We know that 9Z likes to actually play pretty damn defensive over towards that B-bomb site, so might be slightly under-punished later on. But if they start to get aggressive and they start to take map control without using too much utility, Young Sharks could suffer for this as time goes on.
Yeah, it almost feels like every time they contest Banana, it's like 2 or 3 rounds too late, usually for the 9C CT side.
Yeah. I mean, Young Sharks might just be gearing up for that sort of adjustment to come through in these force lines and these pistols, just something weird to happen. And I respect that. But right now, they're still leaning over towards B. They've read this perfectly. Only Digit is present with a Deagle. He gets a shot to the leg, but rails in is happy to shrug that off with a Mach 10 and just continue to trail forward. Bomb's going to be planted basically for free, and they've got a little bit of a side dish with it. Chef's compliment coming in as Digit will be eaten up alive.
Well, now there's a whole lot more to save than just Kevlar. You know, these digs around it, some utility as well. You don't imagine the Sharks are going to pursue that much further. Of course, the fear that a rifle could fall into their hands. Don't want to give 9Z even a couple of inches.
I mean, especially after what we saw on the previous map where Bit was able to recover that AWP and immediately after they do so much damage that the T-side economy just falls apart. Young Sharks know what can happen with one rifle.
They'll relax. They'll take their 2-0. They'll be happy enough to let these players save through here on 9Z. I'm liking that they're still being cautious about things, but yeah, there has to be some degree of preparation ahead of this. You know, they can be a little bit greedier in terms of some of the utility they deploy over towards Banana, it feels like.
Yes.
We'll see. I kind of anticipate that 9Z could, in fact, go for some of that aggression in this round. Of course, there's very little to lose. You'll have a buy around the corner regardless. Of course, saving some armor could afford you a few more nades. See Max Fancy the peak, but instead it's nades galore. Bit was there to cover the fullback, and Max almost walked into it himself.
That is a very successful airstrike. For a second there, I thought that Deagle was a water elemental because of the immortal stickers on it. Like, how does he have a Glock?
You know, they threw a 4th nade afterwards as well. So tagged up Max even more.
Sorry, Maxi boy. This probably won't be the round for you.
Let's not peek that corner again. Not like this.
Even back off, I would say, oh my god, this is beautiful. Young Sharks are they going to be now? But no, 9Z. Yeah, they're set up for this.
May have counted their chickens.
I mean, maybe Young Sharks was expecting them to get aggressive into the apartments afterwards, and once they reveal that much presence on the B-bomb side, if there was a stack, but no, not quite. 50 seconds as well. Gotta be careful.
Rut-row, here we go.
There's still time to rotate back from arches if you really want to, but that's only if you haven't hard committed, and Digit is looking to intercept. Smoke flashes all going through. Digit can't find the shot, and it's Max to find one.
Dear.
Tries to even manage to follow up. Rox does the same. Max with 1 HP does all he needs, and somehow 9Z get away from a round with Max getting 2 kills.
Oh, no.
I know I said that wasn't going to be the round for him, but Max, you don't have to prove me wrong that well.
Yeah, the man who gets heavily naded up at the start of the round alongside Bit makes that rotation in time. They call the stack perfectly because the Sharks move right into it. It's not like they didn't have that SMG to, you know, clear some of those tougher corners, get a bit of scouting ahead of it.
They even had the time to do that, you know?
Yeah.
Pulling the trigger at that 50-second mark gives you that luxury. That's why you want to do it in a forced anti-force buy, especially. But JNT now finds one, but tries good for the trade, baby. Yes. Careful now. Rails in. At least he finds another. In the meanwhile, good damage dealt as well. Bit's going to be caught, but instead of going down, he's able to fight his way out and back off. Smokes the corner, and now the op is here to cover.
He's received the call to rotate back round. Bit's given the all clear. Says, leave it all to me. He's on 6 HP, so he's a brave soul. It's hoping that Try and Rox can bounce off of one another and make sure that they're not too vulnerable to CT wraps or the potential for this A site to be split apart.
And you're calling this perfectly.
And I think Try's going to get the angle in the apartments just soon enough. Clears out the arches. Rox smoking the front of the site, just trying to buy time.
Oh, that flash is so good as well. It's going to separate the push coming out into a 1v1 for Rox initially. Repeats out, knows it's a bomb. Rox should get it done, but Pank barely able to get it. Doubles up. Bomb can be planted. And now you're going to watch out for 2 wounded souls, hoping to battle it out. They're veterans of a war long gone. Pank, he's got the positioning advantage. Bit's going to have to make his way over all the way through. A wallbang to graveyard would really be the bane of Pank's existence. And Bit, oh, he's
this is a good position for this.
This is fantastic. Bit's playing this perfectly. Could really cut off Pank. Pank needs to be so careful. Can't show anything. Can't give any info whatsoever. And as Bit drops down, Pank misses the shot. A flashbang to buy time. And he's done it. The round's going to go his way. But Pank will be the sacrifice for it. A sacrifice he is happy to make.
Oh, it's certainly a close one. If Bit just had that angle, he's so concerned about the pit and mini pit respectively. Just grinds off so much of that clock.
Second shot.
Yeah, it's just a quick spray adjustment. Just as tries to try to look around the side of the smoke.
Yeah, that's huge.
but doesn't take the challenge, you know, doesn't rear his head for even a second, just constantly waiting for a sound cue, whether it's that bomb being tapped, anything. I'm waiting for the wrong opportunity.
Made it. Come on. Made it. I dare you. Okay.
Well, have you ever seen a 4-man tower like this?
Well, it's got great construction as well, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty robust.
Yeah.
You only have to aim in front of them, so sliding ain't no big deal.
Oh, Digit. Now he's dropping down. The rest of his teammates are falling apart. And despite a cute little tower made, this ain't Sim City. You're not trying to build a building. You're trying to win a war.
Yeah, losing a bit of structural integrity there. If the bottom part of the pillar breaks, the whole building crumbles with it.
That's a weird smoke to Moto. Maybe it gives him some space, you know? Angle to peek in from library. A kill or two. Disrupt the young Sharks' economy further. It is pretty stressed thin. And Digit knows it.
Yeah, no problems here for the Sharks. This will be a fourth. Of course, they're just trying to do some damage, and they've accomplished that. You know, the fact that they've gotten those 2 kills. Would have liked to have snuck away with one of these rifles, but you can see that Lucalzi is still hovering by those guns to make sure that doesn't fall out of favor. And Pank will find the exit kill as well. It's not as though we're not seeing some pretty decent holds here from 9Z. You know, these collapse on the sites are very heavily contested.
Yeah.
But right now, the Sharks protocol over at B is kind of an easy win for them. You know, the nades that they're throwing over, 9Z haven't been able to show too much presence that direction. When they have tried to, they've been naded to all hell. Funnily enough, that's the round they win.
And let's not forget, this is a CT side, you know, so Try should theoretically be significantly more effective over here as well, being able to break apart that default. But you can see how slow young Sharks are playing this. Good nade damage early on from 9Z this time, though. And a bracket play might be a recipe for disaster. Try lands the first, backs up behind the pillar, but the repeat just doesn't get anything. The triple entry into brackets, and there is nothing freer than this A bomb site they just got.
Yeah, this is a save already. They're not making moves. If they got an easy kill in the arches, maybe they'd consider it, but even then it's a tough sell. They just lose everything at A for not too much in response. The fact that Try is the only one that gets that kill, and it has to be as snappy as it was.
Yeah.
It's not as though he's not engaged. He certainly still has the prowess to pull it off, but yes, the Sharks are going for some of these faster hits. You know, they've been pretty slow-paced for the majority of this T side, but now this burst up through mid is just too dangerous. Just if you're not able to mount that pressure, if there's no one throwing support utility, you know, deploying a Molotov just as they're maybe collapsing into you, it's very hard to fight.
They're even hunting for Bit over here. They won't find him, though. Bit's not letting this gun leave his hands. But Michael, this is a criticism I've always had of Try, which is that he puts himself in angles where you can't choose when to repeat. You have to repeat. You know, and over here you see that as well. He doesn't land the second shot, but the point is, he can't try and wait for a flash. He can't try and wait to fake out something else. He can't try and wait for his teammates to get some information, right? There just isn't the space around the pillar. And that's something where Vu talked about this in the past, and in other maps especially. If you're good with your flashes, you can really punish an opper like that. That has been an issue for young Sharks, but on Inferno, I mean, yeah, you need your teammates to step up, and if they don't, then you're just not going to get the double. Railsin finding himself 2 initially. Speaking of doubles, 9Z, there goes Try up next. Yeah, that is, I know I said there's nothing freer right now, but Michael, turns out I was wrong.
Yeah, well, this isn't exactly an investment, right? It's a half buy, but I do worry because I think that is kind of the approach 9Z need to adapt to. I feel like losing banana control so consistently is just kind of a recipe for disaster. And the fact that they've experimented with that in this half buy, I feel like is going to act as a deterrent. The fact that they just get completely run over is not going to incentivize them to go for it in full gun rounds.
Oh.
Good couple exits here for Digit. Yeah, some money farmed up. 1,200 in the back pocket and an AK.
He can drop an AWP in the next round if they'd like to go for something like that as well. Oh.
Never mind. He could still swap it over, yeah.
Yeah, just to make sure there's a bit more utility.
They've only had one saving grace on the CT side, and it was off of Deegs.
And a fantastic stack as well. I mean, hell, I mean, I would even say Deegs are more applicable than getting a 4-man stack right as they're getting onto the bomb site. Good time for a tactical. They need to change something up.
Problem is, who do you bring to the forefront? Is there somebody that has a play in mind? Man, there are a lot of age-based fun facts.
I really hate the emoji next to it as well. Just something about that looks disturbing. Like the baby's got like a bit of a beard. Bro. I know, but it looks like he's got a beard as well, just growing out from just 2 parts of it.
Is he young or old?
Yeah, but man.
Is it Benjamin Buttons?
I mean, right now, they're going to have to age backwards on 9Z. Get a bit more experience. Not have the nerves come back and fight them as much as they have been so far, They'd really like it if a couple of those players had maybe a bit more veteran spirit before they've had the age to try and get it.
I don't think that's really what's happening in this map, though. We've just seen really solid entries in from the Sharks. Like, they've been taking a really slow approach to these rounds as well. Anytime that 9Z have tried to shift things up on the CT side, it's almost been immediately... It's like immediately failed.
I agree with you, but the thing is, it's like I'm not taking anything away from Sharks when I say this, by the way. Sharks have been fantastic. But it's not like, these players are always super blind and flashed off. It is also quite a few aim duels being lost, and a lot of that comes down to... Ooh, Bit's been shanked.
Yeah, it's a right click as well. So.
Yeah, that's rough. They've already been struggling with the grenades going over towards that B bomb site. Oh, they're not happy about that, not at all.
Good luck with that one, Mr. Vet. Oh, try stuck in the corner. Fortunately for him, there was a Molotov deployed mid, so no one could punish. He was flashed off the angle. Try being pushed further and further away from this A site. Now looks to reinforce alongside Bit. He swapped a few of these positions over. Of course, tries that full belt of util, but now this brackets take coming in from the Sharks. Nade is good, though. Tags them up substantially. While they know this is falling into the Sharks' control, they will stay true to this 3-2.
CTs cannot find information anywhere either, not the way they're currently set up. The only place you can really go over towards is mid right now.
Good timing for the retake utility over towards Banana, though. It's going to keep Sharks from bouncing between the brackets and Banana. And that's exactly what Bits was trying to capitalize on, because it's ground that off that clock to about that 30-second mark, where Sharks are going to have to make their move.
And they're starting to make a play for Archers. However, still very slow. 20 seconds. This is where that 3-man could really start to kick into it. Digit needs to be big, though. Rox has found himself the first. Digit does manage to chain the second together, and Matt inside the bomb site is untouchable. Bombs being dropped, and Pank's the last to fall. Even if he's the only one to find anything, they walk into a beautiful triple crossfire once again. That's how 9Z found their first. That's how they'll find their second as well.
Yeah, not relying on the stack this time over. It's just a really solid set of counter nades here from the CT side. They were conceding a lot of this control, but yeah, because that time becomes more and more of a factor there for the hit, you could see how desperate they were to find that entry and get themselves into that site, only for that crossfire to be a massive benefit to the 9Z squad, not being forced out of a lot of those positions because they went through brackets.
For terrible money as well right now, so no flashes in Inferno. That's a nightmare.
I feel like we've had this trend across all 3 maps. Sharks come out the gate swinging.
They get 6 rounds pretty much every time too.
Yeah, and then 9Z start to get a couple of these rounds together, and then the Sharks economy slips.
Yeah. This is going to be the round which determines, is it history, or are we seeing maybe a new trend? Max is still trying to jump up and down all over the place. Grenade's going to follow him over. Not too much damage dealt, but he's not happy about it, to say the least. GNT's been left on the lurk. If he can get aggressive and find something, there's possibilities, but he also risks actually running into try. A flashbang thrown will stop them from rotating too early, and that's what they're relying on. But Max has got a great flash to peek out with. He's got one, but rails in, finds Vic pushing through the smoke, and Max is... Oh my god, he's got another! Lines them both up as well. Max has been so good in these core positions, where he's asked to step up from a single corner without repositioning, but Zevi takes down Try. Utility not there for the T's to be able to get this bomb plant down safely. Zevi's going to move back over to Coffin. If Max is going to push through, Zevi's got his number. A crouch peek would be the worst possible decision, but flashbang comes in. JNT's going down, and Max is the one who delivers them that round.
Yeah, stood his ground, combined his flash along with the support flash coming in from CT from Bit. So they turn for the first, but that's when the second one pops right in their face. And then Max is just able to line them up as they're trying to get into this site. It's really well done. Keeps himself alive for as long as possible as well, so they could never take deeper construction control. And now they're on Glocks here on the Sharks. These same trends, these same stories plaguing all three maps so far. And the longer this goes on, you know the Sharks, it's not as though they haven't been in a couple of these winning positions, but they can really tip the scales in their favor.
How was GNT not burning there? That's also no head armor, so Max just falls. Now, Bit's got to be careful, but at least he's got 3 on the anti-eco, so, you know, safely gets back as well. Bank's not really got much of a chance here because Try is ready to come through and be that second man on the bomb site to assist. But yeah, that was a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, especially when they're on the low buy. I mean, you're going into angles like that.
Maybe he's not expecting it, you know? Economy control can also slip out in the meanwhile. Bit at least does recover. Interesting thing to note, Michael, is, and I know I've had this discussion with Vu in private in the past as well, is the fact that young Sharks are going for this many grenades very often means they don't have flashes ready for when they're pulling the trigger. And that can be great if you're getting a lot of grenade damage, which they were early on. But now as you're starting to see 9Z become a little bit more wise, a little bit more wary, I'd love to see the double flash being bought more often. So many of these late site hits could be made a little bit better. Just, you know, one more player being blind, Max not having a chance to get a multi-kill. All of these things become so much more effective with a few more flashes.
Yeah, no fighting from Banana this time. Try already forced back by damage. Rock's only good for 1 on the spray, but so much damage done onto Pank. Follow-up nade could track down a bit more of a kill, but no trade to be available. Wrap in from the archers instead, and they're still fighting players over towards Banana. They're running the bomb back here as well. JNT, that's a risky duel to go for when they had a clear path towards this A site, but it will go unpunished. Digits, all that remains. He's low, he's separated from the action, and the Sharks get all that they need to accomplish on that A site.
They almost overthink that, but yeah, Rock's not able to find the second, and that's a big difference maker. If he's able to get that one, you know, there's a second player to watch out for. Zevi coming in for that Archer's flank. It's an easier duel to be won from behind the hay bales as well. All of those things change around, but unfortunately, that second spray down just wasn't there the same way Max has shown us time and time again. Sharks will not quite continue the same trend where 9Z's been able to just get a streak of rounds to equalize. This will be the 7th coming in early. And fortunately for them, it's before the CT economy is all too robust. So there will be certain limitations for 9Z, even if they can still full buy.
Terrorists win.
Yeah, there's 2 ways teams can react to this, right? If it's happened over and over and over, how many times are you going to have the same talks and discussions? You know, remain focused. Don't let it slip. We know they're a good team, and you know they're going to come back. Whereas, you know, if there isn't that leading voice, sometimes it just festers. It's like, here we go again. Letting another lead fall apart.
They even throw away the second flash to get a quick nade as well.
Yeah, they love the offensive utility instead.
Yeah, it can be very good, don't get me wrong. Absolutely can be incredibly effective. And
just better with a little mishmash.
Yeah. Hell, that's only if you don't have a plan for it, though, and it seems like they do. The plan is to quickly take control over the B bomb site, and that'll be coming in before Try can rotate over. Max is gone! No chance for a
Oh.
Multi. Railzin's finding a man through the smoke as well. Goodbye, 9Z.
Yeah, see on the save.
Well, they might see them before the save, Michael. JNT could be hunting, but who's
Yep.
hunting who?
Bomb has been planted.
Well, he's over in that balcony room, so Rox ain't gonna see it. Did they clear the couch? No, not to be the case. They will hunt a couple of these players here on the side of 9Z. Rox is prepared for it, but quick switching and a whole lot of damage, but still comes away with the kill. Yeah, 9Z just get completely locked out of this round by virtue of that double entry coming in way too quick. Didn't expect to lose bit through the smoke as well.
That was really, really cool.
But there's Pank again with those entries. He's been a big opening kill leader in this event.
A little bit rough on Nuke, but come Inferno, and he is right back at it as well. Rather, sorry, a little bit rough on Ancient, maybe. I might be getting those maps mixed up.
He's not been I don't think quite the same that we've seen in some of these previous playoff games. When we get to these best of threes, we've seen Pank be a crucial rotationary man, but has not had the same level of impact. But the further the series goes, if the Sharks are able to take away Inferno, it would force us into that final calamity of it all.
Oh.
He just stares at it like,
Yeah.
the fire.
I hope no one else saw that.
I needed them second mid.
Bukazi. Oh, flashbang is fantastic. They're going to be able to find Rox as well. He had to respond, and Digit and Max are the ones who do so instead. They've given them a chance, and again, it's a great stack from 9Z. Fantastic timing on it, but you still have to be careful. Pank could catch off Bit, who's hoping to lock down this rotate, but Pank barely gets it. It's given them a chance to go back to B, and Pank knows it. He also knows that the CTs have to be very careful in how they peek. It's back to a 1v1. Max doesn't have HP, and Zevi's got the world to play with, but Max knows it as well. Max is staying knife in hand. Zevi's not going to be ready. Max, every time he's low, every single time, he wins them the round.
He's one step ahead. They're both thinking about that B rotate. They both think better of it, and they meet in the middle, but Zevi has no clue that Max is going to be as close as that. Not even having his pistol out, just fully exposed. Got the bomb ready as well. Max, another big multi-kill round for 9Z to take a fifth.
I mean, speaking of Lacalzi, that's a name we've not been saying too much of these past few rounds. Not had the greatest of start to Inferno.
Yeah, I think peaked very early as well on Nuke. Definitely had a slow down.
Yeah.
And I guess that is courtesy of Bit.
Can't blame him for it. But right now, Young Sharks haven't needed him to step up the same way, but man, Max has been a monster. He might not look like he's got the biggest of gaps on the scoreboard, like 11 versus 10 on try. No. Trust me, every single one of those 11 kills seems to be a part of a big, super impact multi.
Yeah. He's been very disruptful to the plans of the Sharks. It's like, we're about to win this round, and our money is now messed up for the next couple because of him.
Yeah. I mean, I'd go as far as saying, if not for Max stepping up the way he has been, another round where he's dropped the bomb. He doesn't know it, but he has. JNT, I'm sorry to break it to you, but you and Zevi are probably dead. Very much so. Max turns around. There could have been a bit of a gap in timing where he goes down, but instead, just distracts for long enough for Bit to come through. 9Z have climbed up to 6. They'll still have to wait to see whether they can make 7.
Yeah, big ask. A lot of these A-site takes haven't looked the prettiest. Sometimes when especially when they're not fighting or even peeking towards short or brackets, it hasn't been a consistent entry for the Sharks. It's when they try to commit to these wraps that they've really been getting punished. So I wouldn't be surprised if they start to go back to all reliable. That B site, the working banana, but look at the aggression in from 9Z. They're expecting that as well. They want to cut off any avenue of attack, and if they go banana, they'll get that quick flank.
And Zevi thought he had it, but through the smoke of the Molotov. He didn't realize all he could see was the gun itself, and you can't break that. Not on Counter-Strike. Bit still playing quite aggressive right around the corner of the B elbow. Might need a flash or something, but Lakazi's found the equalizer. Digit's gone, and Rox now has to try and get aggressive in the meanwhile to make sure that there's no one coming through. Rox is inside the T-side bedroom, though. And the amount of space he's gotten, oh, Lukazi's doing beautifully. Just selling the flank completely, but there's a gap in the smoke, so Try can actually peek around it as well. Re-smokes out, a second molly thrown. God, I love that. He's going to make sure Max can't commit to the inside of the bomb site either. And without flashes, they have such a difficult time ahead of them, but Max still gets a kill. Bit's just gone. Pank's got the entry all over again, and now comes out the 3-on-3 retake. Rox's position will not be expected. He's here so soon. Look how he turns! He still gets it!
How on earth does he predict that timing? It's so quick on the flank, but now 9Z need to collect themselves. One flash, sitting inside of smokes as Max trying to sneak in, and now it's only him in this smoke.
He's been so big so far. A chance may be given. A dig's not enough. It's 9 for Young Sharks, and we're off to a break. Can they continue and bring it back to a 2-2? We'll have to wait to find out.
I never thought you'd make me high. Fuck, I'm so high. I wanna kiss your thigh. I love your groove, the way you move. You gotta choose if you want a boy or a man who's smooth. I see you smile, don't be so shy. Let's give it a try. I'm not that kind of guy. Let's play a game. Forget about names. This is my number. Let's play. Only if you call me tonight. I swear I'll make you feel alright. Nothing lasts forever. Let's just be together. Girl, if you call me tonight, I'm waiting with the candlelight. Nothing lasts forever. So let's just be together. Baby, you can call me tonight. Baby, you can call me tonight. Everything will be alright. Only if you call me tonight. Call me tonight. It's 2 a.m. Still waiting, girl. The wine is open. You gotta make a choice. This could be the night. I don't bite. You still have my number. Come on, girl. Only if you call me tonight. I swear I'll make you feel alright. Nothing lasts forever. Let's just be together. Girl, if you call me tonight, I'm waiting with the candlelight. Nothing lasts forever. So let's just be together. Baby, you can call me tonight. Baby, you can call me tonight. Call me tonight. Everything will be alright. Only if you call me tonight. Give it a try. Give it a try. Come on, girl, let's give it a try. Give it a try. Give it a try. Come on, girl, let's give it a. Baby, you can call me tonight. Baby, you can call me tonight. Everything will be alright. Only if you call me tonight. Call me tonight.
Some days you wake up like the world is on fire. Last call came late last night, you're caved in and tired.
They bucked the trend. They stopped the comeback. It's 9-6, but can Young Sharks maintain? 9Z now on their T side now with themselves being the ones to drive the tempo forward. I'm T-Time, joined by Michael Yumi Cassidy for the grand finals of the DreamHack Open 46 South America.
This is exactly where you want Bit in his element, just seeing if he can out-call the Sharks and out-position them on this T side. He'll have that advantage. You know, T sides can often play to their own pace. And with Sharks having that lead, they won't want to let that one slip. You can see dualies brought out from Lucalzi. Seen this picked up a lot more and more these days, and I imagine for the foreseeable future as well. But these two sets of utility here for 9Z, they are grouping up towards Banana. They have enough to commit a double nade over. They're using it for the corner instead. No one's going to be there for the Sharks, and it prompts the smoke in return.
Oh, they might even be ready for the rotate. GNT's definitely considering it, but the kid's on this B bomb side, and seems like 9Z still are as well. Here come out the smokes. This grenade could just demolish them. And oh, it goes out a bit too soon. GNT's blind as well. He's being isolated away. Try's not going to be able to... Oh, no, he does. Try finds one. Rails in, though. Completely undiscovered, but the shots have been missed. It's still a 2-on-3, so it's doable. And the kid is on the bomb site.
Bomb has been planted.
Oh, dualies at a distance is a hard one to sell. Not the most accurate things in the world, but what it makes up for is that fire rate and power up close. Try low HP. The flash is absolutely perfect. So low HP or not, it doesn't matter. It's team play to bring 9Z their pistol round in this second half and Try with those 3 kills. He got so aggressive and in their face. They weren't expecting it.
Man, if Try hadn't been able to find that kill, that could have been very, very different. But yeah, you're right. The aggression towards the very end is what turns things around. And the fact that Railsin isn't able to get that second kill as well, that's a problem.
I mean, that's an orchestrated round as well, a round Try, because the first push through CT is as well facilitated by Bit's flash. And then in the retake, they prime him up ready to go. He says, I don't want to give up construction. Here, let me throw a little popper for you.
If Railsin gets that second one as well, it could have just been a very different story
For sure.
at the same time, you know? And he's been so clutch in a couple of these moments, especially when you go back to Nuke, that you can't even blame him for 1 or 2 of these whiffs situations. They're bound to happen in a best of 5. It really is all about the long game.
Mm-hmm.
Tech time out at a bit of an unwieldy point as well for the young Sharks.
You just have to kind of worry for them because they know that if 9Z get that ball rolling, coming up with solutions will be there. But in the same way that 9Z on their CT side were making a couple of adaptations and they weren't working, that's a position that you expect the experience of Bit to just be like, it's okay, made the right call, change things up even moving forward into the future. The Sharks need to have that same level of sort of discipline coming into this because, well, they need this map. They need this to force it into a full best of 5.
And I mean, if you guys are just tuning in, you've missed one hell of a series so far. 9Z were rocked out on Ancient. Look, Counzy was leading the charge. He was very much the knight in shining armor, but a bit of a bloody one. Getting super hyper aggressive early on into rounds, just getting entry after entry. Then came around Nuke. That was a showing where we were expecting Try to really pop off. He didn't do all that well on the CT side of Ancient. Nuke comes down. We're thinking, yeah, Try's going to be the monster. The analyst desk is hyping him up. We're hyping him up. And then comes out the T-Rex. Bit might be old, but he is very much the most lethal man on the server when he's in Nuke.
And you've had Digit as well, stepping up massively.
Yes. Like, he's been the consistency. And now, come Inferno, Max has been a stud. You can't get onto a bomb site where he's already there, where he's already, started to build up a house, he started a family. He will defend every single time, delivering a multi-kill. The only way to take him out has been Pank, and he just gets those entries like nothing else. But now comes out that T side. Now you can't get those entries anymore. Question is, can you still get past them?
Yeah, CT side opening kills. You expect players like Lucalzi to be engaged, but if he gets shut down in the same way that he might have been experiencing on Nuke, then who is going to be that next man? Zevi has been a little underwhelming, I think, this series so far. Not putting himself in as many of these problematic spots as Try, but that's not his style. Very much more so part of a system. Will still look for these, aggressive rotations, but usually only when they need it most. where Striker takes that burden on his shoulders, even when they don't really sometimes need it, but he can be that final man to tip the scales. Finally back into the action, coming off of that pistol round win for 9Z, so it's a forced buy in from the Sharks. Of course, not exactly having the most to come into this round with. We'll be playing within these sites. Smoke primed and ready via reels in. I think it's going to be a fast pounce from the Sharks, or from 9Z though.
Oh, Railson's going to be forced off. The secondary flash is too much for him to deal with. Bit turns a corner. Some damage dealt, so it's not without, you know, blood lost, but lives are going to be sustained. You know, you're not losing at anyone else. You could look to farm up some more money with the Mac 10 in the next one as well. Why not?
Yeah, no real issues here. Just blinding up those two B-side players and then running them down with the SMG. Who cares about your pistols?
They've been solid about the flash timing and pushing in. I mean, admittedly, just 2 rounds into it, and not actual gun versus gun rounds, but just something to keep note of to see whether or not that consistency will be maintained, or will young Sharks maybe start to play a bit more anti-flash, a bit more defensive, and prioritize a retake with a Molotov or with a Hobbit, things like that as the rounds go on and you have full buys coming in a couple.
Also want to see if they just keep applying this pressure, you know, playing this fast game until the Sharks are able to respond. Because they've been pulling the trigger a lot earlier than some rounds we've typically seen from the 9ZT sides.
True. And if they start to slow down, that's where we'll also be hoping that Zevi can start to step up. He's obviously on top of the scoreboard right now as well, but has not been opping. T side naturally not as conducive to it. That's where you could really, like, this is really the map where you could see a major difference between him and Try in their style of opping as well. Like, Zevi is much more geared up to succeed in a map like Inferno.
Now, still not a moment where the Sharks can invest. Just the saved, upgraded pistols, some of that util. Ain't nothing to shy away from, but we saw the damage that can be done as a result of stacking the correct bomb site. The Sharks will move to stack A, while Bits rallied his troops over the other direction. So JNT with the USP, don't expect much. Full exec's coming his way, he's just spamming through a smoke and basically getting nothing. Not really any information either, and he doesn't even get to get away with his life.
In all fairness, it's also probably the most useful thing he can do, dying to an AK instead of a Mac 10.
Yeah, it's just kind of, it's a chilled out round. Nobody's really sweating too hard about it. But
He's probably
this gun round it's this gun round that will have people nervous here for the Sharks, because that's where 9Z could just swing it into their own territory. They'll take the lead, and then that pressure starts to mount for the Sharks because they face elimination. If they lose this map, they have to force it to Mirage, which is, again, going to be a bit of a tumultuous one if we get there. I think it was Wolfie on the desk that was saying, please don't pick Mirage. But it's just how it is. You know, it's an inevitability.
Was Mirage or Dust too? And yeah, makes sense.
All right.
Javi's going to have that up now.
Yeah, moment of truth. Here for the Sharks. Will they sink or swim? The Shark that can't swim feels kind of redundant. What are you doing? Why are you in the water?
Maybe it's a sand shark, Michael.
I wonder if they'll be able to isolate Zevi quick enough as well. Bit still has that Mac 10 available. Could be conducive to some
good
faster plays. Yeah, smoke on the Molotov. The nades are going to sail a little too deep. But not quite at the tree position.
Decides to play in front of the logs rather than behind them as you normally would. And as a result of that, dodges out on a lot of that damage. Z playing a very similar style where they just concentrated on holding that default. But remember, they've got a lot more flashes, so you have to be more careful on the Young Shark side. We've already pointed out how good they've been with those flashes so far. And GNT, now would be the time to throw out that smoke, buddy. He's realized it. Oh, but doesn't want to smoke just quite yet. He's managed to wait out a couple more seconds. That could be important, but is it worth trading that much HP on his life?
Yeah, just trying not to work completely off of the 9Z timings. You know, they're firing off a couple pre-fire shots into towards CT, so delaying it that little bit more. But yeah, weakened up for this.
And there's Molotovs available as well. Railsin, though, catches a bit before that smoke and blue. There's a flashbang over, but he's able to back off regardless. JNT, good for one, but can't double up. It's going to be up to Railsin to come through from the side and really step up. Digit almost going down. The lineup is good, but not for long enough. You know, to stick the spray for a little while longer.
No offensive utility for this retake either. Just the flashes and the smoke here for the Sharks. And the high ground from Try equalizes the numbers.
Try, he peeks out, Railsin's gone. Pank and Lukowski have to do it all on their own, and like you said, utility is not there to help them do it. No one's speaking forward, and they picked up the AWP. You know what that means? Time to save. Pank has to be careful, though. Saving requires permission from the terrorist side, and that permission will not be given over. A flashbang to try peek with. Max is aggressing. Max is punished. The T's will finally take away that AWP. Lukowski could have thought about going back and trying to get it, but thinks the better of it.
I think Try was hoping to stick around long enough that he might be able to pick up the AWP himself, because it was drop deep CT. He like stays way too close to this bomb, and he couldn't really get away from the damage as a result of that. Might have just thought he was too low to make it. He did die after the fact, but another big round in from Try on the rifle. Hasn't been a liability in that regard. Hasn't always been going for the AWP, and another opportunity where he could have gone for it, but it's pistols round the other side for the Sharks, so not feeling that pressure. Lukowski taking initiative down towards mid. The flash is good, and he doubles up, potentially the 3 as well, but Max survives. 12 HP, but the damage done by the rifle saved over.
This is massive. Max has been good on no HP before, sure, but I'm not holding out hope for that. Not when he's on the T side. He's also the one who's got the bomb. Of course, naturally, he'll be playing towards the back of the ship regardless with the way his HP is going right now. I don't want to give the CTs a sudden 4-on-2 even if they don't have much in the way of upgrades, but still, Bank gets a quick deagle shot. This round turns on its head. Bits being careful. If he makes any noise whatsoever, and Railsin's the one who's getting ready for maybe a quick peek, he's thinking about it, that's for sure. Railsin's got damage as well. This deagle on the back of the bomb site could be massive. JNT just needs to get this first. He gets it. Now it's all about Bit pushing in, but the shots are missed. Crucial ones at that. Still, you can move in, pick up the AKs, pick up the M4s. Zevi's gone and done that here and now, while Pank is just making sure they can't aggress and they can't peek out. Both these players pretty much one-to-hit territory. Max will be visible. Max is massive. Give him low HP and it's like you're buffing him. Zevi is backing off. Oh, God, he doesn't want to contest that.
Oh, man, what a key kill there from Max. Just so quick to the trigger. Like you said, 1 bullet territory really for him. The idea was that Bit could maybe trade, but it's not needed. This man gets like a 25% accuracy bonus.
He's got like that. He's like an adrenaline-seeking junkie. And just bring me low. I dare you. I dare you. Put me in 1 bullet territory and see what I do to you.
Yeah, and that all started off with an incredible effort there from Lukowski. You know, that one saved rifle. We talk about him being that playmaker, and he takes that stand. You know, the flashes were good to facilitate it. Yeah, not killing off Max comes to be their undoing. Oh, the nade stack.
Oh, goodbye.
There's a taste of your own medicine.
Whew. Young Sharks, unfortunately, have been given a bit too much of their own medicine for the past few rounds. Yet to get a single round. Sure, that nade goes awry, but I don't think it matters. Young Sharks wouldn't have done any damage with it regardless.
It's the psychological effect that it has. It's like, come on, man. These are things we've practiced before. And here we are messing things up in the finals. Look at Zevi. That's the bomb. That's big. That's a smoke down towards middle. It's actually fallen slightly through the floor, so it doesn't quite do its job. And they have this potential aggressive position to hold on to. If they wanted to, they could just keep fighting in for mid, but taking it as too much of a risk, even with that bomb being dropped, Rox can recover things.
Yeah.
And it's going to funnel them towards this B bomb site. Zevi's already made that rotation over, so this is well read into.
There's still like 4 flashes available, so how's Zevi going to get any kills? It has to be a big mistake coming out or a big old play, and there comes the utility. It's flying out. Zevi's got the incendiary. He's got to use it. Michael, he's got to use it. Comes out, but oh, it's inside the smoke. That could be the end of the round there, and then Railsin was really relying on it. A flash to help. Rails to peek out. Only good for 1, and the shot through the smoke just doesn't connect. There's no grenades. There's nothing. They're just pushing, and Try can cover. He won't let them move past. Zevi and Lukowski now stuck. They have to go for this. They can't give up another round for free, but they might be. Oh, they're trying to back off. They're trying to save Michael. This might not be the play.
Yeah, at some point you do have to fight for your life. And the Sharks, they just don't think that this is the right time to do it. It's another bit of flubbed utility. Same round as that grenade. It is these small things that add up that can be the difference maker between good and great.
And Zevi has gotten 1 kill in this entire half, Michael. That was the first.
And it was a big one to find, but they just couldn't work off of it.
Oh, that Molotov, you could just see how Railsin would have been able to work off of it as well. And look, massive credit to 9Z, because the way they were positioned, they were all staring directly into Coffin, and the comms were good enough that they made the call when the flash from Coffin came out to the top of the new box roof to turn around and dodge it. That's why Railsin doesn't just get 2 straight kills. That's really hard to have your comms be so clean when you're going for a side hit.
Well, this time, no double nades in from 9Z. Both teams have actually had solid timings on their utility.
Oh,
it's the spam from Pank.
Yes.
It's just like a solid 5-round burst that magnetizes onto Rox, and Zevi's AWP is struck as well. What more could you ask for? Here from the Sharks to start off a round just after things go so wrong in the last.
That's how you want to see them bring it back, Michael. Maybe those saved weapons can finally strike true. Good place to start as any. Retake utilities out, but Bits reveal the fact that he's already moved past it, going into the bomb site. Bits made so much noise. The grenade's good, but Max is better, apparently. He gets taken out. Zevi from behind to do the heavy lifting for that one, and tries all alone. 46 HP, Flash is rolling over. Now he's completely blind. 1 to the ground, 1 up high, and Try's got nothing to do here. He's gone. A dead man walking, trying to move through the smoke, only to be intercepted by Railsin, and Young Sharks find their first round on the CT side.
I mean, this is a great way to start if you're just bursting players through smoke, but this quick adjustment from Zevi, that is so punishable. But he's so mobile as soon as he gets those kills. It shows a bit of presence on that AWP, immediately moves over to that B bomb site and gets there in time. Is this going to be enough to spark the resurgence? Here from the Sharks, though.
They really want a 5th game. Feeling like so do we. Right now, though, Zevi's found 1 blind. Maybe it's time for him to start to heat up as well. Archers are giving up, but they're aware of that. Zevi is ready. He's watching out. A flashbang over. He's fully blind again. This time doesn't go for the shot. He's relying on Lukowski, and good for him that he does. A flashbang over as well. Lukowski's going to be able to keep himself alive for a while. Peeks out. It's a 2nd kill. Lukowski should never get that, and Railsin just peeks out to get control over Archers again. Young Sharks do not lose a single player in that process.
And that feels like a round where 9Z's comms just break down. Look at the way that they're approaching all of these fights. Mollies are in, nades are in as well. They're not ready for some of these swings. They're not ready for these fights to be taking place the way that they're happening. Even though the strat and the utility that they're throwing is focused on forcing those players into those duels. They just weren't ready.
I'm calling it now, Michael. If they take Inferno, I feel like they take the entire series.
Fighting with a hell of a lot of metal.
Yeah. Taking Inferno won't be easy, though. That's for sure.
And they have been getting some of these fortunate shots, right? Through smokes, while blind. You know, some of that's timing. But that's predictability in the way that you're moving through as well. Every spam, things do go a little bit deeper than just, hey, you know, I happened to spam a smoke and it was a random shot. They're being lined up properly. Again, retake utility will be thrown over towards that banana position.
Good timing for it as well.
Yep. Uh-oh. Smoke doesn't make it. It's outside the map. So Molotov's down, but they still have a sight line that Bit can hold on to.
That could be very important.
It's just these small mistakes that do just accrue.
Lucazi's positioning is so annoying to deal with. Pank's also here to make sure that he can't be swung onto from short. Zevi's trying to cover for the initial peek as well. They've completely abandoned archers and they know it. Pank goes out to peek it and Lucazi's gone. The flash is too good. Zevi trying to adjust, re-peeking forward. Knows he needs to keep them alive, but a grenade will be his undoing and Pank was stabbed in the back. Lucazi, he was the key player. He was the one who had to stay alive and get the kills on the players coming out of apartments, but Flash is too much to handle.
It's a misread as well, because as soon as that motor smoke goes in, one of the strengths of that setup from that CT side is they effectively have a triple crossfire if there's any sort of apartments pressure, but the site player starts running through that moto smoke just before it blooms to try and get eyes, or at least eyes, to prevent them from wrapping CT. And because of that, this whole crossfire breaks down. Lucazi gets full blinded. Then it's Zevi's ult that's just left in no man's land where utility is bound to be going your direction.
Yep.
That was the key feature. It's that one misrotation and the misread for Sharks about what the plan is there from 9Z. And it's immediate punishment.
Not to mention, Michael, the fact that he doesn't drop off is also incredibly important. Lucazi, when Pank moves away, he should know that anyone rounding the corner will not have a second point of congestion. That's very much an angle where you're looking to get one and drop off. The only way you can guarantee that and not be blinded out, because that's a commonly flashed angle as well, you're going to get blinded very often. The only way that happens is if Pank is watching the corner turn, because it's so much harder to flash the player who's playing underneath the roof in the bomb site with the same flash that blinds out the railings player. So when he doesn't drop, he's going to have no impact whatsoever, and Zevi's basically left to fend for himself. Very important round for 9Z to get, though. The fact that Young Sharks can't equalize will come back to haunt them. Now, the good thing about Sharks is they just won a couple of fantastic rounds, so money won't be an issue in this one, but we'll have to wait to see before we can really make a call for future rounds. They do have a tendency to save, so I'm going to lean on the side of them having money for the rest of the game, but that tendency to save has given them out of a few opportunities as well in what could have been clutches.
And they have been going back and forth between being able to slow down 9Z's aggression. You know, at the start of this half, they were going a lot quicker into these rounds, but trying to work the map more accordingly. You know, keep Sharks on their toes about which direction they're headed. And the Sharks aren't exactly pushing into these forward positions where, sure, if they receive a lot of pressure over towards the B side, you know, maybe they're getting the apartments as a consolation. They are playing very contained, similarly to what 9Z were doing on their CT side as well. Just grinding out that clock, and when it comes to about that 30, 25 second mark, just hoping that the crossfire stays in place. Yeah, money ain't going to be there for much longer if rounds go as easily as that. They'll have maybe one more buy in the back pocket after this one. Let's see if they can make their stand. This secondary AWP does grace us. JNT will be put on those secondary duties.
Well, second mid is where the context is going to come through pretty soon. Digit not revealed yet. JNT's found one in the meanwhile. Lucazi's just backing off. He wants to maintain the advantage, and with Zevi holding on to the arches and brackets in conjunction, Oh, he's even dodged out the flash. That is beautiful. Great stuff from Zevi.
And as if this was a round where the AWP gets a wallbang kill on the half wall.
I mean, first was Pan getting a kill through the smoke. 9Z aren't happy about how this is going.
Yeah, 9Z can smell the feast at the end. You know, the meals being prepped in the back. You're going to be eating good tonight, boys.
Stabs them.
Yes, then someone's just taking a little too long with their makeup. We're going to be late. Seems like another late round execute here from 9Z. A lot of smokes being thrown, flashes over as well. Bodies aren't going to be quite spotted out. Zevi turning around from the arches, and he misses the shot on the flick. Tagged up, but this exposes now CT to 9Z control.
And Railsin is going to try and step up from his angle. Awkward angle to try and move back. He's messed up the movement, but it gives him a kill he maybe shouldn't have had. Even goes back to Hobbit, or at least tries to. But again, movement not quite there. Railsin will be found, and JNT needs to find the player coming in from behind. It's a drop bomb, baby. JNT is ready for another. Won't be peaking 15 seconds. Time's on his side, but his teams aren't. JNT gets another, and Digit. Now you can't even get the bomb plant down, my friend. A kill found, sure, but the reload means he won't be able to move on and take down Zevi. He's given up the round, and he knows it. Just has to try to defend this AK now, and even that will escape his hands. What a hold from JNT, man. Oh, that's even fair, Michael.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, Spot's just a glimmer above the log's peak, and then falling off the angle. That's the immediate punishment. What more could you ask for JNT on that secondary AWP? Not only does he find an opening kill into the round, but when things get real dicey, he's getting sandwiched in from both sides. They're trying to run him down.
Massive.
Yeah, those shots were absolutely crucial.
Why'd you have to go and do that to us, Elliot? We're pumping it up.
Yeah, and it's the G2 logo, so, you know. We'll talk about what's going on with them. All eyes on these squads from South America. 9Z are close. You know, they smell that victory. They're already a map up in the series. But the Sharks ain't going down. You know, every time we're getting into the space where maybe that mental break is going to happen for the Sharks, where they're not going to be able to build themselves back up to this spot where they could potentially take this grand finals.
Yeah.
We start to see this small activation of other players. It hasn't been always the same people stepping into the limelight. This time, you know, we were critical of JNT earlier on within this series.
He was particularly.
Exactly. Felt like, I think I'd agree with what Vu was saying on the desk, a bit of a liability. But now when things are getting even harder for you, when that pressure is mounting because you're running out of rounds, that's where we're seeing these small individuals come in with these big plays, and 9Z, it's not accounted for.
And this is where you have to go back to the question about, was it nerves earlier on for JNT? Because if it was, man, I'm going to go back and give Zach a virtual pat on the back on Twitter, because the fact that he's been able to step things up for Max on 9Z's side, and the Sharks have had their own sort of success with JNT, both players who weren't necessarily having the greatest of beginnings to this series. Their coaches must have done a number on them, because now Max is leading the charge, and every time he does it without any HP, it seems like. And now JNT with those three, sure, his overall score line might not be the prettiest, but that round in itself gives Young Sharks a real legitimate chance in taking this forward and breaking the T-side economy. And look at that money, Michael. Look at it. It is horrible. Bit's been tagged and naded. Railsin's got an aggressive. The first time they've really been able to get banana control, and Railsin might step up over here again. Wild Blind keeps the spray going. Rox is feeling a little bit hurt by that one.
Is there even an escape in mind here for Railsin? Who needs it? JNT's there to support, and the spam keeps going. B is off limits. Stay away from banana. And DGT hasn't had a fight. They've been fighting through smokes. They've been trying to leap at the Sharks.
And what a round to do it in as well. 13-13 in the cards are now achieved. And they break the T-side economy. They don't even have loss bonus. They don't even have loss bonus. Young Sharks are set to be able to break their way through to that 15th round off of economic advantages. That is absurd.
Yeah, and this wasn't the strongest buy here from 9Z, so maybe they felt like they had to force something. You know, this is one of the few times we've seen Sharks take an aggressive stance towards Banana, and it actually work out. You know, they're not getting pre-nated right off the jump like they had in a previous round. This time it works flawlessly, and it teed them up for that tie. Now the lead as well, as it's only these pistols. No utility, no extra sugar on top, absolutely nothing. So they can get to 14 here.
Outstanding stuff. And Zevi, oh, he's just found Try, takes him down, re-peeking out. Confidence rounds, another tag, and Lukowski's here to make sure that the op doesn't go down. Might seem insignificant, but the fact that they don't lose a single player means that 9Z won't have a single Molotov unless they want to sacrifice on smokes and flashes. And you can see them doing just that. Well, actually, they go for Galils instead, so they sacrifice on AK. Still, not insignificant.
Well, feels like do or die. 9Z, sure, they're building into that loss bonus, but not exactly what you want as your only source of income going into potential point where you're trying to close out this grand finals.
Oh, Pank's position.
Oh,
He's got a second,
out.
but Max, how is it always Max who steps up in these positions? The A-bomb site is empty. Young Sharks don't need to save, and I hope the hell they don't. They've got the money for this.
Yeah, they do.
They should go for it.
They just don't feel like they have the space. It doesn't feel like...
Oh my God.
They'll run out
might
of
overthink
cash.
this. They're exploring. Okay. All right.
Oh yeah, we're all good. I think 9Z recognized that they found this very, very unique timing that has been fully exploited. They're setting up for double nades towards the end of the apartments around the same time that T's can jump balk.
A big mistake early on. They were really hoping to get that early utility damage on either side. Young Sharks, they double naded out logs as well. And they were expecting 9Z to maybe go for a fast play, and that's why the nades are being set up. But if you expect them to go for a fast play, setting up nades in that position when you can just double nade from bicycle is definitely a big question. Now, I mean, CT economy is fine, so these kills don't really matter all that much, but being able to prevent maybe a couple of rifles and the op especially from getting into the hands of 9Z could be important.
Damaging T-side economy is more important.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not quite sure about these hunts that they're going for. And Zevi, he gets another. In the meanwhile, JNT is not able to lead on for more. Zevi is doing such a good job of this. 9Z will not have an easy path to 15. But Max, man, what a player. What a goddamn player.
As if
Look
he
at
finds this timing.
And that wasn't even a silent boost, by the way. That wasn't one of those Fnatic plays where they used to do it earlier on in 2019, 2020, where they'd have Crim's silent boosted up. That was a full scale. I jumped across to the balcony, come get me.
All stat from Nuke, but Inferno is so close. Tied up in score. And again, this potential tipping point where, you know, if 9Z miss out on a plant, you know, they'll be missing out on that loss bonus as well. They've won a round now. 1900 extra ain't gonna go too far for you.
Young Sharks know that too. And Young Sharks, I mean, this is where You can't capitulate. This is where generally you're looking at the veteran leadership. Who's going to make the right call? The speed over through arches. They've gone, but there's a player inside the bomb site. Pank, flashbang over as well. Lukowski steps up, finds a first, and he's waiting for two more to push out. Zevi's pushed through the smoke. He's got a knife in his hand, and that's a mistake. But Lukowski is still here. He's still delivering. They're boxed in. Zevi's there with a pistol as well. Young Sharks up to 15, and 9Z got no more money.
And that's the disaster you wanted to avoid. They were trying to exploit the timing. Young Sharks have been going for this B-side presence with 3 players at B at the start of these rounds so many times over that this is what they were trying to get, this quick wrap on the site, but it's Lukowski who deals with that first initial player. That smoke moto actually works so far against 9Z as well, where they just couldn't get these stable sight lines back in. They couldn't hunt down those trades so easily, only for the AWP of Zevi to somehow stab him in the back as well. It's seeming like we will go the distance. It's overtime or a 4th map here in our grand finals. Young Sharks could level the playing field one more time. And they're going for an apps burst. They don't have too much to line this around. I think the smoke has actually deterred them from this initial call.
They're going light if they are at all. Double flash means this is really the only place they can go. They also only have 1 smoke left, so getting into the B bomb site will not be easy. Railson's also here. He's got himself an incendiary. He can back off around the corner. Secondary flash is already used. They've only got 1 left. 1 flashbang, 1 Molotov, 1 smoke, 1 chance. 9Z. If they can equalize here, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's overtime. But that if is very much a massive one. A perfect crossfire setup. Young Sharks have got everything lined up and ready to go. But what's the call going to be? Lukowski watching out. Bits got 1, but Pank and Lukowski clean up. It's only Max. He stepped up so many times. The Mac 10 can be replaced. The bomb can be recovered. A 1-on-2, but HP is gone. And you know, that's where he does his best work. M4 now picked up. No AK. And as he's turning around, Young Sharks will get it. 16 will be secured. It's 2-2. We're going to a game 5.
Man, Sharks just kept digging deeper. Every time you think they're about to get caught out here on Inferno, when 9Z are taking that lead, more chances to bridge forward and take this grand finals themselves. The Sharks make sure that we are guaranteed to go the distance.